My name is Michelle, and I actually started at URI just in March. And today I'm going to do this presentation on BYOD multimedia production. Basically, bring your own device is what that stands for, and it means allowing students to use their own handheld devices to do multimedia production and project work within your classes, which comes in very handy, particularly in online teaching and or in hybrid teaching, where students will be, you won't see them in person as much, or they won't be on campus as much. And so you really, in that case, want them to do BYOD. You want them to be using their own devices for the kind of works and projects that they'll be doing. So I'm going to discuss some best practices. I'm going to discuss some case studies of things that have been done by other faculty. I'll discuss tools and apps. I sent you all an email with some apps. Asked you to try and install those on your phones, and we'll do a little hands-on work with it a little bit later as well, just to give you a feel for what it might feel like for the students to do something like that. So I started here in URI in March, so I'm new. 2 days after I started, I got pulled into a meeting with the provost and told we had to help all faculty teach online. So it was an interesting way to start a new job. I feel like I literally got shoved in the deep end of a swimming pool, and so it's been fun and exciting too, because you guys have done some amazing things given the limited time you had. It's really impressive to see how great the faculty here are. I've been nothing but impressed since coming to URI, and I'm pretty excited to be working here now. I wanted to say that from 2012 to 2014, I lived and worked in the Middle East. I lived in Abu Dhabi, and I worked at a university called the Higher Colleges of Technology. And they literally have more money than they know what to do with there. And so they do these crazy technology projects at the universities that we could never afford to do in the United States. And one of the things that they did is they implemented 17,000 iPads across their 16 campuses of the system. On my campus, we implemented 800 iPads to all first-year students and faculty. We put Apple TVs in every single room. We had 3 months to get faculty up to speed on using apps. They were told they needed to teach from the iPad and on the iPad, and to integrate and mix and meld various apps on the iPads in order to teach with the students and have students do work. But it really showed me like some of the amazing things that both faculty and students can do with apps on their individual devices, given the opportunity to do it. So I'm coming from that kind of background of having seen an implementation like that and having seen faculty, and I'll share some case studies later of what faculty did and the kind of apps they had students use for multimedia project production and work. This is what we would call an Ignite session. So we have a limited time today, 30 minutes plus maybe 15 for Q&A. That means I'm going to cover things quickly. It's just to give you quick ideas, quick tips, quick ideas, quick case studies. It'll be a little messy, it'll be a little hectic when we do the activity I'm going to have you guys do. And I want you to imagine the possibilities though. I'm going to have you all towards the end go into breakout rooms and work together to use apps on your phones to make a very short, simple, easy presentation that you'll then share the link with us. And it's just for you to see what you could do in a very short amount of time with very little support, and then imagine the possibilities that with weeks to prepare, with weeks to get your students set up or to have them come to IT and get technology support and to get up to speed, imagine the things that they could then do. So it'll just kind of, again, it's to quickly show you possibilities and give you a toolbox of ideas of what you might do in your own classes utilizing technology. So multimedia production, phones are perfectly suited to do that. They can take photos, they can take video, they can record audio, right? There's video and photo editing tools. They can make GIFs. They can do all kinds of crazy, amazing stuff on their phones now. They have their phones, they use them all the time for multimedia, interacting with their friends. So you might as well have them put it to use on projects in a classroom. They can do interactive reporting, they can do digital posters, they can do mind mapping, flow charting, planning, designing on their phones and apps on their phones. They can write books. I've seen students make books, make videos. I've seen so many amazing things. Some of the challenges, it's BYOD apps, bring your own device. That means they're all on different devices. That does make it a bit more challenging for the professor to support them, and even for a technology department like mine to support them. Everyone's got a different phone. The app is going to work slightly different on different devices. So there are some challenges in terms of supporting them because they're on multiple devices. And that's multiple operating systems. So also you have to support different needs on various different systems. So those can be some of the challenges, I think. Some of the benefits, it's their personal device. They already know how to use it. In my experience, and it's pretty wide now on this type of project at several universities, I've worked with several faculty doing things like this. The students needed, in the end, actually very little support. It's their own phone. They already know how to use it. So they really don't need a lot of the instructor's time. So there's less training and support. Really, I have found, and the faculty I've worked with have found, there's actually less training and support because they often already have a video making tool on their phone and they've already used it and they already know how to use it. So by letting them do BYOD and pick their own apps, you'll find that there's not a lot of training and support you have to do. Another benefit, there's so many apps that do the same thing. So they're gonna have something that they've already probably used and is already on their phone, and which they're gonna want to use for that. Often there's a free app that does the same thing as a paid. Again, there's so many choices out there of apps that it's easy to find ones that are free and won't cost anything. See a question over here? Yeah, I'll share it. No worries, I'll share my contact info. There's easy sharing and collaboration and creativity from their phones. It's easy to do collaborative projects right from your phone with others because you can sign into all, and we'll talk about that later, like the cloud storage and other things you can do on your phones. So the phone basically becomes both a consumptive and a production tool. And in this case, we want them to use it as a production tool. So I want to go over some case studies. So Catherine Deser, she's a faculty at SUNY Delhi, which I worked at for a few years. And she has her students create multimedia video presentations on a research topic. She teaches literature, so usually it was a literature topic. And she had them do that instead of writing a research paper. Now, this is a particularly interesting case study because in online learning, which a lot of you are doing now and in the fall, it's easier. It's often, even in face-to-face, students cheat on written papers and research papers a lot now, right? And there's always this question of how do we catch them cheating? How do we stop them from cheating? Well, one way to stop them from cheating is to not have them do a paper, have them do some other project-based type of activity to prove their knowledge and their acquisition of the competencies or skills that you wanted them to have in your classroom. Have them do that instead of a paper. So that's what she did. She quit doing research papers and she had them make multimedia video presentations on the topic instead of writing a research paper. Now, the interesting thing is they couldn't really cheat that, could they? They had to make the video and it was them talking about the topic and there was no way for them to get around having some knowledge or understanding of that topic. So, and so, you know, was a really good way that she got around plagiarism and cheating. It was more interesting to students, and you wouldn't believe the creativity. Some of the things these students did, some made a rap song about like the topic and others. I mean, they just did these really amazing things. And so the students were far more engaged. And most of those students just used their phones. They were able to use their phones to make the video, to edit it, to then post it to YouTube, and then send her the link in the class for grading and to share it with the other students in the discussion forum in the class. So it worked out really well and was very successful. Another professor, Lauren at SUNY Delhi, she had students create digital posters using Glogster in place of a poster, like an in-person paper poster for the end of class project. So she used to teach face-to-face and she had them make those posters that they would put around the classroom, and then they would all walk between each other's posters and ask questions at the end of the class as their final project. But then she started teaching the class online, and she just wanted to know, like, she wanted an alternative way to have them do the same thing, but in an online delivery format. So Glogster is a great digital poster creation tool. So she had them make digital posters using Glogster, and then she had them do screencasted videos of them presenting their digital photo or their digital poster. So they still did a presentation of their poster. It's just all digital and was recorded as a video. And then they posted those video links of them presenting their digital poster into the discussion forum in the online class to share with each other and the students. So again, another great way for them to show proof of knowledge, proof of competency, proof of skill acquisition and understanding of the course content, but all done digital and right from their phones. When I worked at higher colleges of technology in the Middle East, the aviation engineering program, they had this really exciting project where students worked in groups for the entire semester to build an airplane wing. It required an integration and cross-domain knowledge of learned skills because they had to know math and they had to know physics and so they had to know design. So this project was sort of a culminating project in the degree program, and it was them applying all this knowledge acquisition that they'd had over many classes in this one major project. The professors had them on their iPads set up Weebly blogs. So they had the group set up a Weebly website. It has a great app for the phone or for your iPad. The students were then able to use their iPads in this case or their phones to take photos of the project progress. So each week there were grading rubrics from the instructor about what they needed to be posting on this joint group website that they had created, project website. And so every week they would take photos on their phones and they would post it to a new blog post using their phone or their iPad. And they talked about what they're doing. They put their schematics, their drawings, they showed week by week steps and progress. Other students in the class they shared their blogs links with everybody. So then this group could go see what another group was doing and comment on the blog posts. So it became very interactive and social, and they were able to do it all from their phones. An interesting thing is it also served as a professional e-portfolio. So because it was a website that was externally facing, that they owned outside of the college systems, they could keep that website even after they graduated. They weren't going to lose access to it. And they could put it on their resumes when applying to jobs and say, here is a project where I actually built. They're applying to engineering jobs. They could use it on their CV when interviewing for engineering jobs, of like, here's proof of my competency. Here's a wing I actually made or designed. So it had multiple incredibly useful applications for the students. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat box. Okay, feel free to pop in questions if you have any. I'll try to keep an eye on it and I can answer them as we go. So anyway, this was a fantastic use of their phones and their iPads to track an ongoing, interactive, collaborative, group-based learning project that was application of their knowledge and so much more interesting than them writing a paper, right? So again, using their handheld devices as multimedia production tools to document this project. Another case study. It's also at higher colleges of technology. Aaron, what he did is he had students use their iPads, again, as both a consumptive and a production device. So he had them integrate multiple apps to learn about and practice project management. It was a business class in a Master's of Business Administration program, and he felt like that those students, in the modern world, we all have to know how to use technology now as a part of getting ready for our career, our careers that we do. And look at us now, all of us are having to learn and use technology every day on the job. And since he was teaching in this Master's of Business Administration program, he thought, yeah, these students, they need to know how to manage projects interactively and collaboratively with others using only online tools. So he had them take all these apps, which are listed here, put them on their iPads, and then use those to manage a practice project that he had given each of the groups. And they had to then again document how they managed that project, use all these tools to interact with each other, and really learn project management skills, but through using apps on their phones and their iPads in order to continue ongoing collaboration with their group mates. Another case study was Jesse, also at the higher colleges of technology. Um, she had students to study a nature reserve or a park during a natural science course. So it was an online class. And when she had taught face to face, so I'll talk a lot about what I call equivalency. So equivalency theory in online, well, in e-learning or distance education means that students in an online class should have an equivalent learning experience to students in a face-to-face class. Now, we're not saying equal. They can't be equal. They're equivalent, meaning because it's different delivery formats. You can't do exactly what you did face-to-face online. You're going to have to adjust it. You're going to have to augment it. You're going to have to substitute some new technologies or ways that you're going to have the students get that learning experience, but you can give them the same level and quality of a learning experience. You're just going to do it in an equivalent way, a different way, using tools. So, you know, it's really important that they walk away from their online class thinking that was just as exciting and cool as my face-to-face. And you utilized various other approaches, though, to give them that same learning experience. It's called equivalency, and it's really important. So in this case, Jessie, she was going from a face-to-face to an online environmental science / ecology course. She wanted them to have equivalent learning experience, even if it was online. So she told them that they had to do a field trip on their own to either a nature reserve or a park. Now, they would have done this as a group in the class face-to-face. They would have gone to a park together. They would have looked at the ecology and the biomes and the, you know, food chains and all these other things that you study, the conservation practices, etc. So she said, no, here's a grading rubric. Here's the things I expect to see. Here's the questions you need to answer. And you choose your own reserve or park near your home, since it's an online class. And you go there using your phones and you make a video presentation. And she gave them a very detailed rubric, like, I want to see images, I want to see text, I want to see video, I want to see you in the video talking. And they then had to use journaling apps on their iPads, as well as video and photo editing software on their iPads and their phones. And they created these really complex presentations. Some of the students made blogs on their iPads, like using Weebly or Blogger or Google Sites. They made their own blogs that they then posted all, like, they went to a park for 5 days, and every day they made these ongoing blog posts about what they were learning and what they were looking at, and videos. Can you imagine how amazing this learning experience was for these students? And through use of technology as a production tool for this multimedia presentations and reporting they were doing, they were able to put all that together and share it with the rest of the class. So just a really exciting use of technology in this way. So now I just want to talk about some bring your own device apps that can work well. Now, this is a tiny list. I just couldn't possibly go over every possible app that's out there. Even the email I sent you all yesterday with ones to put on your phone for us to look at after this during the hands-on activity we're going to do. I had to pick just a few that I thought would be the most simple and straightforward, but given an entire semester to work with students, you have so much more time, and you could even pick apps that are maybe a little bit complex to learn. You don't want them to be too hard. You don't want students to have cognitive overload. You don't want the technology to take over. The technology is so complex and so hard to apply that they're not then getting the learning content. Like, you really always want technology to support the learning, whether it's a chalkboard in the classroom or an interactive whiteboard or a tool they use on their phone. Whatever technology you're using, it should support learning, not detract from it. So you do want to make smart choices, and you don't want to give them so much that they're just overloaded and it's too much to do and then they can't focus on the learning. But that's why BYOD is so great. You don't have to say use this video tool. You can say use any video editing tool you want, and they probably have one that they've already used on their phone, and therefore there is no cognitive overload. They've already used it. They already know how to use it. So you don't have to worry about stressing them out about learning a new tool if you give them the option of BYOD apps. Like, I just want you to have a video editing. I don't care which one you use. And then let them run with it. Let them use whatever they've already been doing. So there's many, many possibilities and apps out there, and I can only cover a few before we do the activity I'm going to have you guys do. But this is a Prezi, and we will be sharing all of our materials, including I'm recording this session. So we're going to be putting all those somewhere. We're going to be doing that probably early next week, and then we're going to meet everyone who had registered For Tech Day, we'll be emailing you all to that wherever we decide to host all these things. We're going to work that out. We're kind of doing it on the fly, and that way you'll have access to all this information, links we share, our presentations, our videos that we did of the training sessions, etc. We're also going to run Tech Day again. We are planning to run it August 13th, so any sessions you missed today, you can do at that time. And maybe we'll run it again. So we're going to run it more than once. So you'll have an opportunity to come back to these sessions as well. Maybe after you start planning as well, you might want to come back and say, hey, I'm planning this, and now what, or what are next steps? I also want to say that at any time you can submit a service desk ticket in IT and say, hey, I want to work with someone on, I want to work with Michelle on implementing BYOD apps with a multimedia project with my students, and they will assign that ticket to me or to someone on my team, and then we can sit with you. And I will say that today, like I said, this is what I call an Ignite session. It's fast, it's quick, it's a little messy, hectic. I'm coming in and I'm giving you a ton of information and ideas in a short amount of time, and that's just for you to get this toolbox of ideas. And then you can go away and think about your class, your syllabus, your unique situation, or what you want your students to do. And then, yeah, submit that service desk ticket and let's have a consultation and let's spend an hour one-on-one. And it helps me to see your syllabus or to know what you want to do in your specific unique situation or classroom. And then it's easier for me then. I have so much experience in doing this, and it's easier for me to say, hey, I've seen someone do this with this app, and I can make really more specific recommendations to you at that point about what tools or technology or apps would work for you and your students based on your learning goals for your class, so to speak. So VoiceThread is great. It can be done on the phone. It can be done on a tablet. It's interactive video presentations or sharing or discussions. People have used it very successfully. It can be much more interesting than a text-based discussion forum. Evernote is literally one of the coolest tools I've ever used. I use it. It's, first of all, it syncs across multiple devices. So the notes I take on my iPad, it syncs to all my other devices. So I use it at work for productivity. I use it to track emails, messages, projects, meeting notes. I put everything in there. You can tag them. You can label them. So it's searchable by label. It's searchable by tags. And then I have access to all that information on my phone. Students can absolutely use this for projects they do. They can use it for collaborative projects because you can share the things you do. They can use it for tracking things they do in the classroom. Evernote is a great app and tool. Poplet and MindMeister, they're great mind mapping, flow chart, kind of visual representation tools I really like. Sketch and BeFunky are two photo editing tools that I find to be very easy to use. So those are ones you could recommend. Your students probably already have some on their phones they're using, but if not, and they wanted a recommendation, these are free, they're easy to learn, they're straightforward. I really like them. ThingLink, there's an app, you can put it on your phone. You can make these really cool interactive images that you can use in presentations. Faculty could use it. You can then embed those into your Brightspace course. Students can embed them into websites and other places. So that's a really exciting tool that I love to share. Animoto is really good. It's a video production tool that I really like. It has a lot of powerful features. Cloud storage, I really wanted to talk about. So at URI, everybody, faculty and students, all have access to several cloud storage options. So one is Google Drive, another is OneDrive and Office 365. Both are available just internally, so you don't have to worry about things being shared publicly. They meet student privacy laws and requirements as well. So in terms of storing any sort of sensitive student information, they can be useful. You can set them up on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, literally you can have it sitting on your file manager on your computer so that you have immediate access to your cloud storage on your computer the way you would for your own hard drive. And that way you're storing things in the cloud rather than your hard drive. And by storing them in cloud, you then have access to all those files on your phone and on your iPad as well. This is incredibly powerful for students who are doing collaborative projects together. If they are storing those documents they're all working on collaboratively in, say, Google Drive, then they all can have access to it on their handheld devices as they work on projects together. Blogging tools. Oh, I gotta let somebody in here 1 second. if someone requests access and I don't give it to them, it knocks me out of the screen share. Little glitchy thing in Zoom. I felt like I should warn you all that I learned about today. That's only when you're using the waiting room, which we decided to do today because since we hosted these links publicly, we were concerned about Zoom bombing, right? And so there's a waiting room, and if someone's waiting and they're clicking to get in, it'll knock you out of your screen share. Just so you're all aware of that, because we're all getting our Zoom Pro licenses soon. The campus is getting a campus-wide license for everybody, and you'll have Zoom accounts in the next couple weeks. So just wanted to share that. Someone put yay. I know it's a great tool. I really like it. Other than this little glitchy thing where if you have a waiting room, it'll knock you out of screen share. So just so you all know about that. Anyway, so cloud storage, incredibly powerful. So I just really want to point that out. Blogging, there's so many blogging tools that you can use. There's Weebly, there's WordPress, there's Tumblr. I have used all of them from my phone or my iPad. And there's many more. There's Google Sites. I could go on and on. Like, again, I can't list everything here, but there's many opportunities for students. And if you want them to create a blog or a project website, like I discussed earlier in the case studies, tell them, their group, to choose whatever they want. Again, the beauty of this is you say, hey, you use what you're already comfortable with, and it's less training and technology support time for you. Tell the group, you pick your tool, as long as, you know, we can go, you meet this grading rubric that has, you have to post this and this, and you have to post this many days, and you have to post this many times, and I don't know, your post should be this many words and have at least one photo or one video of you talking, whatever. You give them a grading rubric that discusses all the quantitative and qualitative things you want to see, but the tool they use, tell them you can do whatever you want as long as you're meeting all these grading assessment things that I'm going to be looking for. Google Apps and Forms are great. Again, you can use the Google Apps for Education, or Office 365 has all the same apps. So again, let students use what they're comfortable with, maybe what they already have on their phones, or you can make suggestions. Gloxer is the digital poster I talked about, and Explain Everything is a digital whiteboard. Digital whiteboards are really exciting because you can make multimedia presentations using a digital whiteboard. So in Explain Everything, you can add an image and you can talk about it, and you can do markup, and then you can add another image, or you can go to a website, you can watch a video, you can do complete mashup of all these multimedia things. So there's many different kinds of digital whiteboards, and I'm just going to put a link into the chat here. This is a list of live and or digital whiteboards that I put together, which you guys can all open up that link, and it's a list of, there's so many, I couldn't list them all here. Doceri is really good, Educreations is really good, Explain Everything is really good. I could go on, and I've tested them all at one point or another on my iPad and my phone, and so these are ones that, again, you can make suggestions to students if they have never used a digital whiteboard. I also now would like to post this link. It's called Effective iPad Methods. So what this is, this website list, you guys can go there, and actually I'll go there right now just so we can take a look at it together. So when I worked at the higher colleges of technology in the Middle East, and as I told you, we implemented 17,000, I'm not kidding, 17,000 iPads across the system in 3 months. On my campus, we had to implement 800 iPads to faculty and students. We had to put Apple TVs in every single classroom. We had to get everyone trained up not only on how to use an iPad, but give them suggestions for apps they could use with students, and faculty did amazing things. So a colleague and I, Rudena and myself, we did a research study where we sent out surveys to collect curriculum and pedagogical approaches with various apps that the faculty had been using with their students and on the iPads. So this website is a great place for you to come get ideas, and you'll see that we listed, so the information that we got from each of these people, we then listed in here along with the apps that they had used. So if you click on one, There's information about the project. There's an information about some of the educational or educational psychology approaches that they use. There's the lesson plan that they use. There's other notes about it, resources, and as well as all the apps that they had used, a list of the apps that they had actually applied or had the students apply in an interactive way together or as a mashup together. So this website, save that link and you can come in here and you can go through and see what others had students do. So there's a lot of great ideas in here along with those case studies that I shared with you guys earlier. So those were 2 links I wanted to share. Digital whiteboard ads, like I said, there's so many. Here's a long list. My favorites are Doceri, Screen Chomp, and Explain Everything. EduCreations and Show Me are still pretty good, but I feel like I've got more features in the others that I appreciate. Accessibility apps, this can be really important to students. Dragon dictation is really exciting. It allows students to have ongoing, basically, it's almost like having ongoing closed captioning for what people are saying to you. For ESL students, Phonics Genius is brilliant. SoundNote, it takes notes in class and it tracks what you type and draw during it. So this is really good for people with some learning challenges or English as a second language students. Tap Magnify will magnify content using your handheld device. I really like that one. Color IDs, augmented reality app for color ID for people who have color blindness. Also low vision, another one. So I just wanted to share these as well because you do want to think about accessibility as students use technology and make sure that all the students in your classroom will be able to access the apps or the learning that they're going to be doing with technology. So today I want to do a very short activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all into breakout rooms. And in that breakout room, I want you to work with your teammates to do a very short and simple presentation using apps on your phone. And this is just to give you an idea of what it feels like quickly to collaborate with others. Now remember, this is a little messy. It'll be a little hectic. It'll be a little confusing perhaps. Because we just, we don't have weeks and weeks to prepare the way you would for doing that in your classroom. In your classroom, you'd have weeks to get students up and running and ready to go to do this on their own. But it'll just give you a taste of like working with someone else using some apps on your phone. Now, really quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. And I'm going to share my phone really quickly. Just give me a second to log in. Just need to log into the Zoom session. 1 second here. Just take me a minute to get logged in. So you can log into your own Zoom session from multiple devices. I often log in from my iPad, and then I can use the whiteboard and the Apple Pro Pencil on my iPad to do interactive digital stuff on there. So that can be really cool. Let's see here. Dial in using this. Sorry, 1 second. There's going to be, I got to cut that, mute it so there won't be audio feedback. Okay, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share content. See if it works. All right, so what I'm sharing with you now is my screen of my iPad. And that's because I just wanted to show you some of these apps that I put on my phone yesterday just to give you an idea of how they might work. So Poplet is one that I really like. So let's see, we'll go to home here and we'll make a new Poplet. It's a really nice mind mapping tool, flowchart tool, etc. It can be used for all kinds of stuff. I'm just going to put Goobly Glop in. But You can add photos, you can add video, you can draw in them. So you can do some kind of fun things with it. So then when I'm done, so I like to make it small and also make it look the way I want it to on my phone. And then you can export it. I save it as a JPEG and it saves it to my photo library. So then that's how people can make something in there, flowcharts, graphical designs, etc., and then save it right to their, MindMeister is really good. That works in the same way. So I'm going to take a photo here. Let's see here. Take a photo of this little hint bottle, which is really delicious, by the way. And then I'm going to go into Be Funky. This is one of the editing tools that I really like. Here we go. I'm going to use this photo, and you can do all kinds of effects and things to it, but I'm just going to add in some text. I'll do some gloobly glop again. And then you can change the kind of font. You can change color. You can move it around. So you can annotate up an image, right? Add stuff, put important notes, whatever you want. And then you can save it. We'll save this now, and I'm going to save it to my camera roll. Hope I'm not going too fast, but I just wanted to go through these rather quickly. You can also take video on your camera. I'm not going to show everything I could do, but here's all these apps, and you can do all these things to do multimedia. And so then I'll just go into explain everything as one example. And let me see if I can mute this session. 1 second here. I know you guys are getting some feedback. I'm sorry about that. It's from doing 2 devices. I'll try to be quick here. Let's do new. Oh, I gotta delete one of these. I'll just open up this one. All right, so then this is explain everything, and I just wanted to show that you can add in stuff. So for example, I can delete this, and then I can add in an existing image. So I can add in, for example, this image that I just made. And then what you can do, once I've added in that image, is you click the record button. I can't start right now because I'm broadcasting with Zoom. But anyway, you can hit record and you talk about that image, and you can write on it, and you can do annotations and other things, right? So you can talk about an image. So this is a really great way for students to do presentations, so they can make an annotated image, they can pop it in here and to explain everything, and then they can record themselves talking about it as proof of their knowledge on the topic. So they don't even need a whiteboard or a chalkboard, like they could do it this way. And then you can delete what you've done. Once you've done a recording, it saves what you've done. And after that, you can then delete it. And then you can add another image. So now next on my recording, I want to talk about, you know, some of my this thing I made. You can make it bigger, and you can turn it, you can do horizontal and everything, and you can record that and talk about that. You could put in the poster you made. So using explain, I just wanted to quickly show you guys for a digital, in terms of explain everything as a digital interactive whiteboard, like the way you can mash up these multimedia things to make these really cool presentations. I'm doing this all from my phone, and this is like 2 minutes. Imagine if I spent an hour on this, like the really cool types of presentations I can do. So then you can hit record. It's not gonna let me because I'm zooming. And when you're all done, you can export. So then I export my whole video presentation that I've made with all the things that I've added and put in. And I usually export as a video. And I save it as a video, and it will save it right to my computer. You go down here and you save the video on your phone, just like this. And now it's going to save it to my actual phone, and it's in with all my other photos and stuff and videos that I have. And then I can go into YouTube and upload that video. So you sign into YouTube app using your URI account, and you go to your channel here. And here's one I did yesterday because I was testing this out. This was one I made on Explain Everything last night when I was testing this process out. So yeah,
Here to talk about bags.
I made a really
Bags are cool. They changed human civilization.
So you see, just like that, I've got my video here. I loaded it and I did all this from my phone. So I am going to stop this now. So that was just to give you a very, here, let me close down so we don't get the audio feedback on here. Okay, so that was just, sorry about the audio feedback. It's from having two devices right next to each other, which usually if you broadcast from one, you don't call in with audio and then you can avoid that problem. And I forgot to do that. Then you don't get the audio feedback. So, so anyway, that was just to give you a super quick example of what you can do from your phone. So on the activity that I want you guys to do, let me see, I'm gonna go here, back to here. Let me just share this a second. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys into breakouts and I will circulate between the breakouts. And I just want you to get a little test of putting something together as a team. Please plagiarize. We're not worried about cheating or copyright or anything. Just grab stuff quickly. Do any topic. It can be goobly glop. It can be something silly. It can be anything you want. It could be the chair you're sitting on. Talk about the chair you're sitting on. Find something to just do a super quick short presentation using the apps on your tool. And the idea is just to get a feel for it, and then I can rotate around and kind of help you guys. And I realize, you know, we don't have a lot of time for that, but I just wanted you guys to have an opportunity to try it out yourselves with some support with me being able to come in and help you out if you've got questions about how to make something work. So I'm going to send you to breakouts. You'll choose your topic. You
Michelle,
put something together. Yes?
just having some issues logging into the Zoom account on the phone, though, just to give you a heads up.
So to log in on the phone, you need the session ID from the link for this session. You pop that in, you might need the password, and then you can get logged in.
Without having any account.
Oh, yeah, if you don't have an account, yeah.
I mean, the IT has sent out an email and they gave accounts out to at least to the the support staff and
yeah,
I got
everyone else is going to get their Zoom accounts, I think, within the next 2 weeks or so, but they don't have them yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So do your quick collaboration together, share media, put something together. You can use PowerPoint. You could use Explain Everything. You can use whatever. If you want to just do a PowerPoint on your phone, you can. Hopefully you downloaded that app yesterday when I emailed you all. You could do a basic PowerPoint. You could do a Glockster poster, whatever tool you want to use, put together a little multimedia, very simple presentation, and then come back to share the link with all of us. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Sorry, Michelle, another quick question from another Michelle. So whatever we're making together here right now, we are indeed logging into Zoom from our phones as well to then be able to upload it to this?
No.
Okay.
You will use apps on your phone to make it at whatever tool you want. Again, remember, this is BYOD. I'm not telling you what to use. You're going to use whatever you want and whatever you're comfortable with. So if you have PowerPoint on your phone or Explain Everything or YouTube or whatever, you make it however. It could just be a video, right? Or it could be images that you add into a PowerPoint or on a Glockster poster. You use whatever tools you want to make a little, very simple, like just put some stuff together.
How are we sharing it? That's the question.
So if you post your video that you make to YouTube, you come back with the link, the YouTube video link. If you make a poster on the Glockster app, you come back with the link to the Glockster, the digital poster you made. If you make an Explain Everything, you export it as a video, upload that video to YouTube, and then come back with the YouTube link. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So no, you don't need to be getting into Zoom to do this. You're just going to come back with the link to the presentation you made wherever you posted it online. And that's completely up to you depending on what you do. Any other questions? All right, so I'm going to put you into breakout rooms and I'll shift between them. So you should get your invitation. So enter into your breakout rooms to work with your teams.
Not getting the invite. I don't know if others are.
It should be coming up
there
any
it is.
second.
Sorry. Yep, sorry.
Okay. Hello, Victor. I see you just joined us. I've sent you an invitation to join a breakout room with one of the teams that's working right now.
Hello.
Hello. I sent you an
Oh.
invitation to join a breakout room, so you have to click on that and it'll put you in the breakout room. Hello, I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Well, we didn't really download the apps, and I'm actually taking a look to see if I already have some of them on here.
I actually wasn't part of this, Michelle. I jumped in from another session, so
Oh, okay.
I wasn't prepared. And I thought I might not be in a room because you didn't have me formally registered, but I did download while you were talking that Explain Everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna download that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty fun. You can do some cool stuff. If you have an iPad, then it's even, I find it a little bit easier to use just because the screen's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
But you know, any device, I think it's multi-device too. I'm pretty sure it works on Samsung and it works on Apple and it works on a whole bunch of different types of devices. What you guys might do then is just put together a quick video about something. One of you could talk about something and the other could video it or whatever. Like you can put together anything you want. The idea is just a collaborative presentation of some type.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Sketchnote come out? Is that just part of Explain Everything? Record videos, it's just telling me all it can do?
The what? Tell me that.
Sketchnote, when I click on Explain Everything, it has presentation, it has Sketchnote, record videos. I don't want to slow you down, but that's what it has. Sketchnote, all the parts, are those all parts of Explain Everything?
Yeah, there's different things that you can do. I would, probably want to make a video presentation, but you could certainly use the other tools at some point as well.
Where's your rubric? We might fail. We want to get at least we want to get at least to see, Michelle.
Well, here's where you're lucky. I'm not grading.
Are you going to shame us if we're like the group breakout room, whatever, that doesn't?
I mean, you guys didn't download the apps. You came late. Unprepared, didn't do the pre-class exercise.
Hey, summer school for us. What the heck? When you ever say that, I'm like, oh, got caught here. Damn it.
Hey, at least we didn't bail like the other 10 or so people did, right?
Well, yeah, a bunch of people were like, oh, I'm not doing the interactive thing. Well, all right, I'm going to go to another room for a while, but I'll come back and just see what you can maybe devise and put together. It's just a chance to test it out, really.
Okay.
Right. We'll do our best.
Globster. Defunky is DEFUNKY.
So download that onto your phone.
I came in just to see if you guys had any questions or.
I had just joined this meet, so I'm kind of lost. They're telling me what I should do, which is download on my phone an app like Defunky or Globster. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Did you have any questions for me?
I guess I have to go to play games.
Doing download.
Play Store maybe. And look for this.
I'll be back in a few then and see if you guys have questions, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
How are you?
Just wanted to come and see if you had any questions or.
So basically, we are trying to. We have to use the apps, that one of the apps that you suggested us, and then put together like a PowerPoint presentation, right? That's
Yep.
the expect. Okay.
Yep.
So I just wanted to make sure.
It's just if you guys want to try it out a bit, see, like, and I realize, in a regular semester class, you'd have weeks to support students. Tell them to download the apps, tell them to get them set up, tell them to play with them, right? Tell them to decide what topic, what media they want to use. You'd have weeks and weeks to get them going. This is just sort of really quick and dirty. Just try making something with a couple of these apps, and then I'm here to answer questions if you get a little bit stuck on an app, or you have a question about how to save it or where to save it or how to export it, etc.
So you gave us, could you remind me, like, the apps? There is BeFunky, there is Glockster, Poplet. Are there any other? I know there
was PowerPoint, there's Explain Everything, but you could just make a simple video. I mean, you'll have video recording on your phone. You could just record something sitting on your desk. Could be that simple, and then load it onto YouTube and give us the link. Like, it can be that easy.
Okay. So we kind of sharing the work. So Christina is doing she has some pictures from events, and she's gonna create it. I created a shared drive and sent it to her. She's gonna put the stuff, and then I'm gonna put that into the PowerPoint, and then that's the plan.
That sounds awesome. That sounds perfect. All right, I'm gonna go to one of the other rooms, but I'll pop back in to see if you have any questions in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Shandu, can you share that drive with me?
Yeah, it works. Yeah, it does work.
Hello, I'm back.
Damn it. So Karen is the superstar here. Karen, can you share your screen? Or she sent us a link.
Yeah.
In an iMovie.
Just click on the link. Yeah.
Are you able to see that too?
Yep.
I am.
Let me look here.
I'm not sure if Michelle can, because she sent it privately.
Nope, I can see it. Oh,
okay.
It's donut holes.
And donuts, yeah.
Oh my God, you're making me so hungry.
I know, me too.
I barely ate. I'm running 5 sessions today, so I've just been on the go since the morning. I ate this freaking bar. That's all I had to eat. You're making me really hungry looking at
I think you subbed for somebody. Didn't you sub for somebody?
I did. I subbed for the Zoom session because he didn't have a pro account and he realized he couldn't do breakouts. So then I had to my account.
Yeah.
Long story short, that I wasn't expecting to have to do that one. So it was really like on the fly, and I wasn't really prepared. It didn't go so great. It went okay. It went as well as it could have been that I last minute had to jump in and run it.
Oh, it went well. I was in there. That was great.
Oh, good.
Very helpful.
I had
Michelle, I will say
freezing screen problems, and I'm like, great, at a Zoom training session, I'm having Zoom problems.
Lisa Chen was having far worse problems. I was like, for both of you, she was having awful problems. So.
Yeah, I got that email. She was complaining to Bob about that. She had all kind. Yeah, it's too bad.
Well, I will say that I've been in session since 9 a.m. also, and this is far and away the best session. That said, you know, I didn't download the apps. I wasn't prepared, whatever. But it's really exciting to see going forward. It's really getting my mind go. I teach documentary filmmaking. It's one of the things I teach.
Ah, there you go. There's so much you can do with this.
It's getting my mind going of some things I might be able to do.
Absolutely.
It's like, how can you do production and not see face to face and hand them a camera and whatever? And I'm seeing some ways to actually.
Yeah, they could go out, they could do individual clips on things, they could share them all into a same Google Drive, and then someone else could work on putting those clips together. They absolutely could do it by using all these collaborative tools and apps.
I'm seeing that, yeah.
What do you recommend, Michelle, we have lots of videos from faculty for like testimonials, we could call them, and we need to splice them and dice them and fit them into PowerPoints with embedded, you know, so that we talk about a concept and then they speak, could be students, it's faculty in our case.
Yeah.
What's the best tool for that?
I mean, I would splice in videos with different people and make like video interviews.
Yes.
I mean, and Camtasia would really be good for that because you could even add text.
Yes.
So in Camtasia, you could cut in this person and how they answered this question, and maybe even put text, their name, professor in this department.
That's what we want.
Closed captioning. I would say do Camtasia training and use Camtasia. That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
And then if you want them to be public, like if this was for publicity reasons, I would make a YouTube channel and post all the videos there. If you wanted it to be private and internal only, then I would use Relay and make a channel there, because then it would only be internal. Those would be my 2 recommendations.
Yep, that's great. We've got Camtasia training next week, so thank you for that. So this
Right.
donut thing is
So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to go hop into the other group, see how they're doing, and then bring everybody back. So within about a minute, we'll bring you all back and you can share the iMovie you made, okay?
Thanks.
Move. Do you have anything MP4?
Hello, just wanted to check in. I'm going to bring everyone back to the main room in about a minute. Wanted to see how you're doing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I think I've got the JPEG fixed, hopefully.
That's cute.
Hello.
Yeah, this is not really
Check in
interactive.
to see
I
how
don't know.
it's going, and if you had any questions.
Oh. I created a poster and emailed it to myself.
Perfect.
That was
That'll work.
fun.
So I'm going to bring everyone back out into the main room in about 1 minute, and then you can share it there, okay?
Oh, I'm trying. I
Okay, at
have,
least we have one person with the product.
That's
our
okay.
product.
And
I
believe me, you
downloaded
guys,
this app.
keep in mind, like I said, I gave you
I put
10
it-
minutes, right? And and like I said, this is quick and dirty to just give you a
Okay.
feel. And then just imagine the possibilities with your students when you have a whole semester for them to prepare and for them to share collaboration on things that they do, right? And things that they produce on their own phones, and they can share them, and they have weeks and weeks to put that together. And just imagine all the things they could do. So this is really just to get your mind going about what could be possible. And in a semester, you have so much more time than I'm able to give in a 1 hour workshop. So
Okay.
yeah, it's really just to give you ideas.
So how do we share this a picture that I put
1
in?
minute, I'm going to take everyone back out to the main room, and once we're in there, I'll have you guys share it in the chat. So go ahead, everybody, and share what you were doing into the chat box. So anything that you guys made, I realized we didn't have much time. We had maybe 10 minutes. It was quick and dirty, super quick. It was just to start to give you a feel of what students could do. And imagine in a classroom, how long, you'd have weeks for students to prepare and video and create things, to then put them in a shared drive in Google, and then to put those clips together or put together their poster. They'd have weeks and weeks to collaborate and work on it. So just start to imagine what students could do with using their phones or their handheld devices as these sort of multimedia production devices on the fly. So let's see. I see that there's this was the iMovie, right? Yep, I'm just going to share my screen so we can see it. So one group made this video, and it made me really hungry when I watched it. And they did a very quick iMovie, and then they just loaded it into Google Drive and shared the link. So it was very simple and quick, right? But imagine, how you could extend this. You could add images, you could add a text, you could imagine all the other multimedia that you could also put in as well. So anyone else want to share something? Someone was making a poster, they said. Okay, let's see. It says I need access. I'm going to request access, so you should get an email, and then it should give me access. So if you want to give me access, my email is, here we go. I just put my email in.
You should have got access right now.
Yeah, I should.
Yep, you should have it. You can
Let me
play it
try
right now.
again. There we go. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. It's a Fun with Apps presentation. So they made a multimedia PowerPoint on their phones together. Looks like they added a poplet image. That's great. And they put in an image or a video. Oh, it's a video. What's this a video about? This looks cool. Oh, I didn't play though. Oh, there it goes.
From YouTube though.
That's fine. I
That's
didn't care.
Christina's daughter.
Oh, nice. You guys do goats, huh? So there you go. In a few minutes, they put together this multimedia PowerPoint that has video, it has a flow chart or mind map, it's got titles and text, so images, titles, text, and video in a few minutes. So again, you know, just imagine the possibilities of what students could do with weeks and weeks to work together and use all these apps, right? Let's see, here's another one. Let's see what we got here. It isn't Sherry, it's not sharing a particular document with me. The link isn't working for me. I need the link that shares the actual document that you posted in your drive. And I could try to share it. If you go into the document and you click share, it should give you a shareable link that you can then, you might have to share it with me at my email. I'll put my email in again. You might have to share it with me specifically for me to see it. Okay. Well, there we go. I see it. All right, so I'm going to share this. So you used Glockster, right, Sherry? You're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Sorry, yes, we didn't get that far, but we did get into Glockster.
That's great. So there you go. And then again, you guys had a few minutes, right? Like you had a few minutes to start to use these. So again, imagine the possibilities of what students can do with weeks and weeks and weeks to do this in, and the kind of things that they could put together and present to you and the rest of the class. So anyway, again, this would end our session. Again, feel free to submit a service desk ticket if you want to consult with me one-on-one. I can look at your syllabus with you. I can talk to you about what you could do in your class, what apps might work in your situation. So anytime, just let me know, and I'm happy to brainstorm with faculty and related to what they need to do with their students. So thank you very much for attending my session, and we'll be sending out links to everyone who registered, and we have their email addresses. We'll be sending out links to all our training videos and other training support resources that we did. You should see that in the next few days, maybe early next week. We'll get that all put together, okay? All right, thank you. Thanks for coming.